What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm here to talk about one from Shout Factory. It's number 37 in their Shout Select line, and it is Matinee. So in this one, John Goodman plays Lawrence Woolsey, who is a B-movie, kingpin, pretty much. He's getting ready to debut his newest atomic monster movie, Mant, about a man and an ant combined together through the dangers of, atomic energy. He's the kind of guy who he doesn't just want to show the movie. He's got to do a bunch of other stuff too. He wants to kind of go carny about it. So all of his movies have some kind of gimmick to them. One of them that they discuss in the movie is like people get hypnotized that watch it. The seats are electrified. You know, people are in costumes running around. There's a nurse in the lobby. All of which are based on, at least most of them are based on real life things that happened in the B movie world. So he's bringing his newest movie, Mant, to a small town in Florida so that they can debut it and he can test out his gimmicks and everything. And the timing just so happens to line up with the Cuban Missile Crisis. So there's all kinds of like real life kind of stress and tension about, the atomic threat. So bringing this movie to that area at that specific time, definitely get some interesting reactions out of people. All the local kids are excited about it. And one of them, who's like just a B movie expert, wants to see as many of them as possible, idolizes Woolsey. He gets to meet him and kind of get a glimpse inside Woolsey's life and how he promotes the movies and just how it all works. And that's pretty much the story here. Is what happens when they debut Mant and all the crazy stuff that happens. I like this movie. I don't see it as this big cult classic like a lot of people do, but I can see why they do. I think just maybe I might be a little bit too young. I do love B movies. I love monster movies and creature features. I love William Castle movies, which is kind of the obvious inspiration for Lawrence Woolsey. But this movie for me is just kind of too much of just a straight comedy with a lot of movie references. I still think it's funny. I think it's got a lot of heart. It's really warm, and I definitely think it captures the essence of that period of time. But I just don't think it's like a super entertaining movie. It's just kind of a cute, funny movie. It's definitely held up by John Goodman's performance. He is really good as the kind of carny snake oil B-movie salesman. That's probably the highlight of the movie to me, except for Mant. Mant is really cool. The scenes you see of Mant in the movie are awesome. They look really cool. It looks like a real movie from that time. But like I said, to some people, this is like a huge cult classic, and they just are absolutely in love with it. And I can see why, because there's a lot of passion for those kind of movies, and this definitely captures that era well. But for me, even though I share those feelings, I just couldn't connect with this movie as well. I just didn't think it was I didn't think it was super funny, and I didn't think it was super entertaining. It was just kind of a fun movie to watch, just a brisk watch, and that was about it. Definitely not one I could revisit very often, but I can see why people would. I like Kathy Moriarty in it as well. I think she's really funny. I wish there was more focus on Woolsey and his story than the kids. I think that's where the movie kind of loses me, is because the coming of age story is kind of generic. And I'm sure maybe if you grew up in that time, it's a little more meaningful for you. But for me, I thought it was the weak point of the movie. And I think everything that has to do with the theater and Woolsey is really, really fun. And the rest of it is just kind of like passable. But overall, I think Matinee is a really cool movie. If you're a fan of just movies in general, it'll have a lot of appeal to you. But especially if you like old school monster movies and B movies, William Castle movies, that kind of stuff. The Blu-ray from Shout, it's got a bunch of new interviews. It's got some vintage featurettes, theatrical trailer. But what's really going to reel people in on this is that it's got the full version of Mant, all the available footage. That's really cool. That's something fans have wanted for a long time. So it's really cool that they took the extra effort here. I don't know about the transfer, if it was a new scan. It doesn't say, and Shout is normally pretty good about saying if it's a new scan or not. So by the fact that it's not on here, I'm going to assume that there was not a new scan done. Yeah, I don't see it on here anywhere. But the movie looks good. I didn't have any issues with it. It's not a sparkling, pristine, incredibly detailed picture, but it definitely is a huge improvement over the DVD. And like I said, I don't think combining with all those extras, I don't think anybody's going to have any issues with this disc. I think it's a really good value. Would it have been nice to have a new 4K scan? Probably. But I don't really know how much better the movie could look. I think it looks really good here. So I don't think very many people are going to complain about it. That's my review of Matinee. I know some people will downvote it because I don't love it to death. But I think it's a solid, fun movie. And honestly, to me, that's a pretty positive review. If you want to read my full write-up of Matinee, you can check that out at markfusion.com, as well as over 1,000 other movie reviews. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon. $5 a month gets you exclusive content. I'm also on Letterboxd, where I diary what I'm watching, so you can get an idea of what might be coming up here. But some of it takes a long time to get here because I'm so backlogged. I only post a couple videos a day normally, and I'm watching way more movies than that. But the best thing you can do to help me out if you want to support the channel is just to hit that sub button. Free, easy, direct way to support me and help me to continue to make content. And then also, believe it or not, watching old videos makes a huge difference. It may not seem like it, but if there's something on the old playlist, and there's hundreds and hundreds of movie reviews up in the playlist here, just watching those helps my view count, my minute count, and those are both things that will help me pretty much. That's what YouTube prioritizes, so that's the way that I can grow my channel. But obviously, if there's not something that interests you, don't waste your time. But if there is something that catches your eye and you want to check it out, I greatly appreciate it if you would watch it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.